brought to you by Sprite. It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey, this is Ernie Johnson, 2K Sports. Shaquille O'Neal is with me. Thank you all for being here. Tonight, it'll be the Phoenix Suns going up against the Spurs in San Antonio. You take a look at the Spurs. More than solid play for them of late. 7 wins in their last 10 outings, making their mark and playing well. Shaq, what was it like for you to play against the San Antonio team that had Manu Ginobili?
Well, he played the game with reckless intensity. And believe it or not, Ernie, no one could stop him. The only thing that held this guy back was injuries. But per minute, few have done it better.
He's such a disruptive force on the floor, isn't he?
Very disruptive, very herky-jerky with his Euro step move, which I think is traveling, but the referee never calls it. But he's a great player, Ernie.
The game just about ready to start, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us live for NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke. And both teams focused here in this rivalry as the Suns come in looking for a win. They came out on top in their last match on Wednesday.
And a very confident performance offensively, I think, guys, is really how this team clicks. I mean, when they're communicating and executing, sharing the ball, they're tough to beat.
And, Steve, you got to love that kind of performance on the road. I mean, to be a great team in the NBA, you have to be able to have that kind of performance in the other team's building. Really solid.
And now the opening lineup for Phoenix. Plumlee out there with Marcus Morris. Then it's Isaiah Thomas. Then there's Dragic. And it's Green in at the 3 slot. Miles Plumlee, Steve, buried on the bench in his rookie season with Indiana. But the Suns saw something in him, and they would not sign off on the Luis Scola trade without Plumlee coming back in the deal.
Well, it was a good move on their part. Plumlee stepped into their starting center position, played very well, and has a bright future, really, in Phoenix because he fits right into what they're trying to do.
And so here's Phoenix. Now it's ended down to Doris Burke, who was able to talk with Jeff Hornacek.
He knows this won't be an easy game, especially defensively. And he talked about how difficult it is to contain shooting guard Manu Ginobili. He told me Ginobili is one of those right-brain scorers. He just sees the game just slightly differently. An angle to get by his man or an opportunity to draw contact. And of course, he can really do it all. Drive, shoot, and pass. Kevin, Ginobili, without a doubt, one of the more well-rounded and competitive players in the entire league.
Thanks, Doris.
And the Suns' top draft pick, Alex Len, dealt with ankle issues last season. That being the case, how big was Plumlee for them? I mean, he's a big-time glass eater inside and above-the-rim finisher to help force the D to collapse. He's a guy that I think has tremendous upside and is extremely athletic for a frontline player.
Here is Thomas. Following the basket by Tim Duncan. The shot's good from Plumlee.
They are really doing a nice job establishing a presence inside early.
That's going to open things up for them on the perimeter going forward, Clark.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot two.
And Plumlee still working to expand his skill set, but you don't find many 7-footers who can uncork a 40-inch vertical leap. I mean, his athleticism sets him apart. Patty Mills last season had his best season ever. It really remade his body in the offseason, adding muscle, cutting down on his body fat. Already one of the quickest players in the league. He got even quicker.
Free throw good. Mills. And Mills getting quality minutes at the backup point guard position.
Yeah, and for a player who'd spent time in the D-League, playing in China and his native Australia, it seems he's really solidified his place as an NBA player, Kevin, in part because he refocused on conditioning his body and really developed as an outside shooter, too.
Now here's Leonard. Isaiah Thomas unable to get his last shot to go. Here's Duncan. Can't get it to go. The Suns go the other way with it.
Not really the start they wanted. They missed 3 of their first 4 shots from the field.
And yes, sir, that one drops.
Assist from Marcus Morris.
And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. Mills with it, averaging 10 points per contest. Duncan right side. Good.
Beautiful cut to the hoop. He's getting anything he wants here already.
Suns leading by 3. Dragic kicks to Plumlee. It's stolen by Duncan. In transition, here comes San Antonio. Out of bounds, Phoenix will take possession. Now let's jump over to the 2K leaderboard to get an idea of which big men have been this season's most elite low-post scoring threats. Tim Duncan on top.
That is major productivity in the paint, guys. They would love to get more and more of that from him going forward because a scoring big man like that, they're not easy to find.
Yeah, you know what? And it's those moves he'll bust on you that make him the force that he is. You know, the step back, the back down, the up and under stuff, whatever it might be. He can take you to school in a lot of different ways.
Now here's Ginobili. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
For Phoenix, they've gone 50% from the field to this point, 4 of 8. Ginobili against Green. He feeds it to Morris. And Plumlee kicks to Thomas. Just 4 to shoot. Upside Thomas. No good. The Spurs have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip.
You know, the Spurs, because of their way of conducting business and their low-key personality, never really been ratings darlings for the NBA, despite being considered and respected as a model franchise in the league. The team's color of silver and black, I think, fits their style. It's not really flashy or gaudy, but it does point out their business-like approach and how precise they play and how much they win.
And the basket good. The Spurs shooting it from their comfort zone so far in this one, 57% from the field. And the basket by Ginobili.
Boy, nice work inside. Tough to get that shot over a big defender like that.
No, that takes skill and creativity, Steve, particularly on the release to make sure he doesn't get a hand on it.
Morris Diaz checked in for San Antonio. Green comes in for Manu Ginobili. Morris is checked in for Phoenix. Here's Dragic. He had 22 points in the win against Minnesota.
And his work on the glass, certainly noteworthy, and he contributed in a number of ways.
Now, here's Thomas, trailing by 2. And Patrick Mills gets that whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, close, but I didn't think he got on balance quickly enough.
And it's hard to draw charges as quick as players are at this level. That's not an easy bit of work there.
And the Spurs making a change here. Joseph's checked in. And Phoenix also making a switch. Tolliver's checked in.
Isaiah Thomas.
For San Antonio, they've gone 5 of 8 from the field, shooting over 62%. Duncan with the screen for Joseph. Duncan right side. Pass to Joseph. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Releases. And Duncan gets it to go on the assist by Dia. 8 points for Duncan.
Watch out now. Duncan is starting to go off.
For Phoenix, they've gotten 6 of 11 shots to go down so far. Pretty nice shooting. Thomas kicks to Dragic. Dragic left side. To the inside. Played in with a nice touch off the glass.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Yeah, they've been the aggressors, Clark, and getting the ball inside into that lane area has been huge for them.
Now here's Duncan. He's got 8. And it hung on the rim, but wouldn't fall for him. Thomas dishes to Tolliver. Shot clock at 6. Green, the pass to Thomas. Stolen by Joseph. Leonard on the wing. From the corner. The shot no good. And Phoenix will come the other way. Green kicks to Thomas. Floats one. And that one's good. Thomas got his second bucket of the night.
Look how well he led him there with that pass.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. This game coming after a loss against the Pistons.
Well, they were lucky it wasn't a blowout because they didn't put forth a very strong performance in that one.
Yeah, they just couldn't find anything to work for them, Steve. No matter what approach they used, it was futile.
Bonner, he's checked in for the Spurs. Bellinelli comes in for Leonard. Dion. Morris with the rebound.
Well, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
Tolliver dishes to Ennis. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Tyler Ennis, a 6'2" point guard out of Syracuse, was a big riser on draft boards in only one season in college. He led the ACC in assists and steals and had an outstanding assist-to-turnover ratio. Ennis is very sure-handed with the ball, and he also gained a reputation for being a big shot taker and big shot maker in his 1 year at Syracuse.
Here's Tucker, averaging 6 points per contest. And here's Green outside. It's good. The assist that time from Dion. Green's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. The Suns leading. And Tyler Ennis, so skilled, a great handle. He's able to play under control, too, at all times.
Yeah, very fundamentally sound, and he keeps a great balance between scoring and setting up his teammates. And I like the fact that he stepped into big moments during his 1 year at Syracuse.
There's 21 seconds left in the first. Outside, Green. The feed to Bellinelli. Here's the screen. Lock at 6. So they take the lead. And the Spurs lead by 1.
That was an outstanding pick that gave him the room to bury the jump shot. Underrated, but not undervalued.
The drive by Green. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Great job taking right at the defense. I like the aggressiveness.
Yeah, he left them no choice but to foul there.
For Phoenix, they have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
Boy, his free throw shooting, just another reason he's such a good all-around player.
Bellinelli with the 3, and the shot is good. Bellinelli's got 5. Several lead changes going on here in the early portion of this game.
Yeah, but neither team really able to jump ahead.
Yeah, 5 times already the lead has changed.
A nice first quarter of play. We've seen plenty of offense so far. It's the Spurs up 2. Live from the AT&T Center in...
Tune in Friday, January 10th. Tim Duncan and the San Antonio Spurs take on Nikola Pekovic and the Minnesota Timberwolves. You don't want to miss it.
off we go. A close game now starting the second quarter. And taking a look at San Antonio's performance here, Clark and Steve. What have they been doing or not doing?
Boy, a ton of threes in that first quarter. This team really lighting it up, guys.
Yeah, it's been an onslaught from downtown.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. On the court for San Antonio, Mills and Manu at the guards. Bellinelli is out there with Bonner, and it's Splitter in at the 5 down low.
Well, Spurs head coach Greg Popovich, so smart, a former foreign intelligence officer during the Cold War. If he's tight-lipped with the media, maybe that's the reason why.
San Antonio's gone 3 of 3 from three-point land here tonight. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris.
Well, Kevin, the Suns bringing in Isaiah Thomas this summer. Coach Jeff Hornacek said, quote, Isaiah is another guy who can create a lot of things for us. We want to push the pace and keep it going for all 48 minutes. Who knows? Maybe I'll pull a little Don Nelson and put 3-point guards out there at once. Guys, that'd be fun to see.
They love players who can create in the pick and roll. Doris, he fits. And we've played just over a minute of basketball here in the second quarter. Bonner no good.
Well, I think the defense got lucky right there. I mean, he's going to make a lot more of those than he misses when he's got that much room.
Here's Green. Solid defense there from Ginobili.
Terrific defense at the rim. They got right in his path.
You know, that's part of what great defenders do. They get not only in your path, but in your head a little bit, too.
A different look now for San Antonio. Duncan comes in for Matt Bonner, and it's Leonard in for Bellinelli. Phoenix also making some changes. Warren's checked in for P.J. Tucker. Dragic comes in for Gerald Green, and it's Isaiah Thomas in for Ennis. That's good. Dragic has got his second bucket. And so it's San Antonio with it. Ginobili kicks to Duncan. Duncan right side. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Well, Tim Duncan, in a lot of ways, the epitome of Steve's substance over style.
Yeah, no doubt, Kevin, both in terms of his game and his personality. He's just a winner and a leader, but he does it in such a quiet fashion that sometimes people forget to take notice.
Here's Plumlee. Drains it from 17 feet out. Plumlee's got 4 points now in the quarter.
You got to like his shot selection today. He set a good example for the rest of his teammates.
And there's Ginobili. That's good on the assist by Mills. That's 7 points for Manu Ginobili.
And when I think about Duncan's leadership, man, I could go on and on. I don't even know if I have enough time, but one of the things that stands out is he's never put himself above his teammates or the staff, and he allows himself to be coached extremely hard by Greg Popovich. He's relentless, dedicated, and in many ways he can lead without saying a word.
Mills passes to Splitter. Into Tim Duncan. The shot will not go. And Phoenix the other way now. Their last encounter was in Phoenix. Plumlee sets the pick for Thomas. Feeds to Warren. Here's Plumlee. And Splitter pulls it down. Splitter's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Leonard, and 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. Marcus Morris picks one up there.
And no question, he got bumped on that shot.
Definitely no room for discussion on that one.
You talk about Duncan allowing Pop to get into him. I think really he's his own toughest critic. As great as he is, he's hard on himself. He's pushed himself to become great.
The Suns trailing. Timeout called, the Suns.
He's definitely shaken up. They're using the timeout to let their trainer take a look at it.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Yes, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Jeff Hornacek as he addressed his team. The strategy included running the offense through Thomas. Coach is calling on him to play a big role in the offense for the rest of this game, to really be one of the key guys for them down the stretch. The next thing he talked about was the pace he'd like to see them playing at offensively. He wants it to be a fast-paced game, pushing tempo all the time. They're not going to wait for halftime. They want those adjustments to have an impact right away. Over to you, Kevin.
Thanks again, Doris. Misses from close range.
Usually if he gets to the rim, he's converting it into points. But the defense stood tall there.
And that one's good. Duncan.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
Yeah, the defense has been futile here. 5 of the last 6 field goals in the lane.
Here's Morris. And the Suns miss again. San Antonio leading by 5.
Well, it wasn't too long ago that the Suns were selling first-round picks. Now the complete opposite. This team stacking up draft picks as they look to go young and rebuild this club.
And the Spurs with some changes. Boris Diaz checked in for Splitter. And it's Green in for Manu Ginobili.
Now that pass had just a little bit too much heat on it for him to make a clean steal.
Yeah, I think it would have been a tough catch for either of them.
Mills dishes to Green. Top of the key. That's good. Now it's a 7-point Spurs lead. And the push for new talent in Phoenix really seen from top to bottom. New GM, first-time head coach, and Jeff Hornacek.
Yeah, and they did an outstanding job. They're pushing to create a very positive culture. They're really giving everybody an opportunity to show what they can do. Thus far, the results are very impressive.
The Phoenix Suns franchise with the 4th best winning percentage in NBA history. Maybe we shouldn't have been surprised with their resurgent play last season. This is a franchise that throughout its history has found ways to win.
What do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for the Spurs?
With the aggression they're showing early on, I mean, they're driving it to the hoop with authority and force.
And don't forget about their three-point shooting, too, because that could be a major factor here tonight.
Joseph, he's checked in for Patty Mills. Well, when you look at the Suns 2 seasons ago, their worst winning percentage since the team's inaugural season, Clark, back in 1968.
And at that time, their 3rd straight season missing the playoffs. That hadn't happened since the 80s, but boy, did they bounce back in a big way.
They were tough last year, you're right. Duncan outside. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
Well, it's absolutely incredible when you look at Tim Duncan and see the impact he continues to have on games at his current age. I mean, he looks much as he did early in his career. His game has really withstood the test of time, and I think it's partly due to his conditioning, but his IQ is a big factor, and his game has always been one that's been anchored in fundamentals and staying close to the ground.
And the Suns making a change here. Tolliver's checked in. Warren sets the pick for Thomas. And the pass to Morris. Shot clock at 6. The fader. Good. Morris has got his 2nd basket of the game. And at 38 years of age, Tim Duncan still going strong, guys.
Timeless. I mean, his dedication to diet and fitness, his flexibility, it's enabled him to remain in peak form. Maybe he doesn't move quite as quickly as he did 6-8 years ago, but he's shooting the ball better than ever. Footwork and his fundamental game obviously has always been there. So just an amazing late season or late career run for him.
Thomas goes in, blocked.
You know, he's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
Here's Joseph. Misses off the right iron.
Yeah, that's a low percentage shot right there.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, he's got to be thinking out there a little better. Make the pass in that situation. Don't force a bad shot.
Kicks to Warren. Here is Tolliver. He's guarded by Diaw. Tolliver the pass to Thomas. Tries yet again. Rejected by Duncan.
I think it's going to be tough for them to trim this deficit if he keeps missing those kinds of shots, Kevin. I mean, they need his points.
Diaw can't hit.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get too many better looks from that range.
And the shot by Warren, no good.
Terrific defense at the rim. They got right in his path.
You know, that's part of what great defenders do. They get not only in your path, but in your head a little bit, too.
You know, he started out hot, and he's only gotten hotter. He could be in for one of those games.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. Thomas gets the bucket.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
San Antonio leading by 8. Green kicks to Leonard. And Tim Duncan again. Duncan's got 11 points in the quarter.
seems like they're on their heels every time defensively because the ball continues to go into the post.
Well, if they don't pick up the aggression, things are only going to get worse.
It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Morris dishes to Tolliver. Nice ball movement by Phoenix. Here's Warren. Goes back up. Shot is good, and the Spurs lead is cut down to 8 on the bucket for Morris.
He got a great read of where that miss was going, and that allowed him to be the first guy to it and get the putback.
Here's Duncan, and the powerful one-handed slam.
Maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that.
And we know he's capable of those memorable dunks.
But, you know, they've got a nice lead. Don't take any chances. The simple one-hander is just fine.
So both teams changing it up here. The Spurs have gone 6 of 8 from the free throw line tonight.
Well, with a team percentage of 81% from the line on the season, this is one of the best free throw shooting teams in the NBA.
Really, guys, it's just come together for them at the charity stripe this season. I mean, the confidence is there, and so too are the results.
And we finished one half of basketball. Spurs lead by 11. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, gentlemen, I'm here with Tim Duncan, and Timmy, you seem to be really playing with an energy here tonight, which has been a theme of consistency and excellence throughout your career. How are you feeling right now?
I feel unbelievable, better than I ever have in the last 4 or 5 years. For whatever reason, I'm healthy and I feel great.
Well, you look great, Timmy. We appreciate the time. Gentlemen, Mr. Fundamental.
Thank you, Doris. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half. Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. An exceptional performance from Tim Duncan.
I loved his approach, guys. He came out aggressively, took the ball into the teeth of the defense, and either got points at the rim or drew fouls.
Most of the time he's been drawing fouls. He has the free throw total to show for it, as well as a few nicks and bruises.
Spurs leading by 11.
So much can be said about the Spurs' dominance as a franchise. I mean, 15 straight years of winning 50 games or more during the regular season. And, you know, last year, they were at least 500 or better against every other team in the league, and they have been since 1976.
Setting the floor for the Suns. Marcus Morris is out there with Green. Then there's Dragic. Then it's Isaiah Thomas. And it's Plumlee in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Here's Ginobili. Leonard, the pass to Splitter. And here's Mills from the arc. And again, it's the Spurs. From deep. Suns trail by 16. And guys, think about the history of the Spurs. They didn't even come into the NBA until 1976 when they made the transition from the old ABA.
Well, you talk about a fan base that is spoiled. I mean, nearly 40 years of beating every team in the league, more than they've been beaten by those teams. So just an incredible record.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Well, guys, going into last year's NBA Finals, Tim Duncan gave the Heat some bulletin board material. He said, quote, "We're happy that it's them," and promised, quote, "We have 4 more games to win. We'll do it this time." A rare show of bravado. But his teammates will tell you, beneath his icy exterior, he's one of the most competitive people you'll ever meet. Kevin, he's got the championships to prove it.
They redeemed themselves, Doris, and now look to repeat. Thanks.
You know, he's knocking down his shots today, but it hasn't really translated to the scoreboard yet. Kevin, and looking back over the last month, let's check out how Phoenix stacked up. 11th in steals, 12th in three-point field goal percentage, and they're in the top half of the league in scoring as well. Not too shabby.
Ginobili kicks to Mills. Back to Ginobili. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Manu Ginobili has always been one of my favorite guys to watch and an elite shooting guard on the court. I mean, the issue with him has been health. You know, last season he missed about a month with a tweaked hamstring, right as the Spurs went on their rodeo road trip.
And Ginobili, guys, clearly focused on trying to stay healthy. The last couple of off-season, Steve, he's fouled out of international play.
Well, it's smart. I mean, he's got so much mileage on his body, and it's more important for him to spend his summers just working on his body, staying healthy, strengthening those areas that he needs. And it's always tricky, though, to say no to your home country when they ask you to play on the national team.
Thomas dishes to Morris. And the wide-open shot from Green. Another 3 for Phoenix.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any agenda.
It's hard to overstate all the points they've scored on assists today. Beautiful to watch.
The dish to Leonard. Here's the teardrop. And that one's good. And the Spurs lead by 13.
Everything's going right now. 4 for 5 shooting, 80%. They got their offense clicking.
And Thomas, here we go. Right side, Green. It's stolen. Outside, Leonard. That shot's good on the assist by Ginobili. And it's 6 points for Kawhi Leonard.
Solid work right there, and again, the field goal percentages. Look at the discrepancy between these two teams in the second half.
Well, you're right. We've got one team moving crisply to get good shots, and the other team just a bit stagnant.
Let's now take a look at some league leaders with the rundown of the best passing big men in the NBA over the past month. The 4th spot held down by Tim Duncan.
And these are some of the most complete players in the NBA. They're not just traditional score and rebound big men. They can beat you with their passing, too.
Yeah, that's the element of their game that puts them in a different category, a special category amongst low post players. I mean, they've got court vision, they see things, they anticipate, and they're much better at that than their peers.
Thomas passes to Plumlee. Green against Leonard. The drive by Green. Gerald Green, hot and cold throughout his career, drafted 17th back in 2005. Steve, the 2007 dunk contest champ, we were there to see that. Then out of the league for over 2 seasons.
Well, Kevin, he was even waived by his teams in Russia and China. So you think about how much he's improved. It's incredible. He's always had the talent to play in this league. I think, had to figure out his niche and understand, how to limit his mistakes. But last year, a terrific campaign for him.
Missed inside. Spurs leading by 16. Leonard with the ball. Now Thomas defending. Duncan kicks to Leonard. Back to Duncan. 6 to shoot. Kicks it out to Ginobili. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over.
All right, an opportunity here to check out some stats for Tim Duncan. An incredible last month for him. You see where he stands. He's putting up 29 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. And just look at those scoring totals. He's been doing what he does best, putting points on the board.
Yeah, how valuable a player he is for them, Steve. Scores are always valuable. He gives them such a reliable option every time they have the ball.
Plumlee dishes to Green. And Plumlee gets it to go on the assist by Green. Plumlee's got 16 points. Leonard attacking. No good. Great D that time from Green. Suns trail by 14. Thomas passes to Morris. Thomas with the ball. Leonard picks him up. And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession. About halfway through the season and a chance here to recap where all the teams in the West sit in the standings. We look at San Antonio earning the first place position with a terrific record. And we've seen them perform splendidly pretty much all season long so far, and they're definitely the team to beat. And checking out Phoenix. They have a lot of ground to make up.
Checking out Phoenix. Unfortunately, mediocre is a word we've often heard used to describe their overall performance this season.
Yeah, I expected them to be a few rungs up the ladder from where they are. That drive, that motivation has been sorely lacking.
Phoenix calls timeout.
Over the years, we've seen injuries bother the same people over the course of their careers, while other players seem to stay healthy. And it may be just genetic makeup, it could be off-season training, but it does seem that staying healthy can also almost be considered a skill rather than just luck of the draw.
The easiest way to do it sometimes is with the bounce pass.
And Mills kicks to Diaw. Green, the screen, or the 3. Offensive rebound. Pass to Mills. Dishes to Bonner. Tries again. Kicks it to Mills. That's a 2 from Bellinelli. That one off the back iron and out.
He's so confident, sometimes to a fault, and that showed right there. That's a bad shot.
Exactly. I mean, that's self-inflicted damage right there. There are a lot better options than what he took.
Injury management, such a big part, Clark, of the game today. So many factors going to staying healthy in the NBA and all sports for that matter. How a player is built, how they train, how they play. And then there's that X factor, luck.
Yeah, no question, Kevin. I mean, we used to talk about the durability of what Russell Westbrook, a player who really hadn't missed a game since his high school days, and then all of a sudden a player crashes into his knee and he's out and has multiple repercussions from that. So as a player, and even as a broadcaster, I like to say you've got to control what you can control.
Now defensively, they did a great job of staying tight on him.
Suns trail by 12. On the wing, Green. No one near him. That's good. And it's Thomas picking up the assist. Thomas got his 7th assist here tonight. San Antonio's gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. There's a good screen. Bellinelli dishes to Bonner. Over in the corner, Green. Passes it to Mills. Lets it go with the three. And it's Phoenix with the rebound. Morris has got his third rebound tonight. Thomas passes to Morris. Again, Phoenix. There's 39 seconds left here in the third quarter. Trying to get back on track. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
The Suns training staff renowned around the league for their ability to keep players healthy. They're at the forefront, biomechanics and all that new school stuff. The results have been terrific. It's called preventative maintenance.
Ennis, he's checked in for Phoenix. He kicks to Morris. He dishes it to Tucker. He feeds it to Green. 11 feet away. Another one falls for Phoenix.
How about the field goal percentage shooting this half, guys? It's gone through the roof.
Here's Mills. Diaw, the screen. Up top, Mills. Goes up on the wing. The shot no good. And as we end the third quarter, a great game. Both teams playing well. It's San Antonio leading by 8. And now a brief chance to view our State Farm assist of the game. It's 1 of 7 terrific assists on the night from Thomas.
And what you love about his ability to pass the ball, Kevin, is that it just seems so natural to him, so fluid. He's always in control, understanding where his teammates are and anticipating passing angles.
Ginobili and Leonard on the wings. Duncan out there with... Boris Diaw, and it's Bellinelli in at the 1. That's the San Antonio 5. To the right side. Duncan goes in. And good on the basket. Hook it. Duncan's got 30 points.
His work at the offensive end has been phenomenal. Maybe reason number 1, they're ahead.
Pass to Morris. Gets tipped. Diaw with the steal. Elbow shot is on the way. No good from Ginobili.
He's one guy the defense is not afraid to leave open from that range, and for obvious reasons.
And Tucker kicks to Morris. Outside Dragic. Ennis dishes to Morris. Clock at 6. It's stolen by Duncan. Diaw with it. Now guarded by Dragic. Leonard with no one around. And it's off from three-point range. Suns trail by 8. Ennis kicks to Dragic. And here's Plumlee. Good ball movement here by the Suns. Morris, no good.
There's some good defense for you. I mean, for somebody who's as good at shooting the three as he is, you need a defender who's equally adept at guarding against it. That was well done.
Well, then they picked the right guy to put on him. Risky shot there. Size-wise, I mean, he easily comes out on the short end of the stick, so to speak.
With the nice high release, he had no problem getting it off and knocking it down.
Plumlee, the pass to Ennis. Dragic kicks to Ennis. The feed to Plumlee. Fade away. It's rebounded by Leonard. Leonard's got 4 rebounds in this game. Here's Bellinelli. Shot goes down. Very quick possession right there. And now it's a 12-point Spurs lead. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
They got to find something, you're right. Here's Plumlee. That one goes. Count it.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
Boy, the ball movement's been fantastic here the last few possessions.
Duncan goes in, uses the glass to finish the layup. Duncan's got 4 points in the quarter.
You know, when the size advantage is that pronounced, I mean, that's exactly what you should do offensively in this situation. Take it strong to the middle.
Ennis, here's Plumlee. San Antonio with the rebound. 17 points was their biggest margin. At the conclusion of this game, they're off to Minnesota, where they'll take on the Timberwolves. And that one will start off a 3-game road trip for the team.
Some good matchups. And I'll tell you, the one I have my eye on is the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's a good matchup.
A bit under 3.5 minutes have passed here in the 4th.
You look at what Plumlee has done so far. He has 18 points, and he was able to come up with 1 steal, too.
He's defending very well, Clark. He's disrupting the offense. He's playing the passing lanes, trying to put as much pressure on as possible.
Splitters checked in for San Antonio. Mills comes in for Marco Bellinelli. Gerald Green, he's checked in for Phoenix. Thomas comes in for Ennis. The 15-footer, and again it's Kawhi Leonard.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
Yeah, they have the defense on the run right now because every pass seems to have a purpose. They're getting great movement, great spacing, and they're really lining them up defensively.
And he gets it to go. 11 points for Isaiah Thomas.
Boy, he's so good at recognizing where the openings are and getting the ball to the rim.
Duncan down low. Morris is there. Kicks it out to Ginobili. That's good, and so Duncan with the assist. 16 points for Manu Ginobili.
Tell you what, they haven't exactly been shy about letting it fly from deep here in the second half.
You know, Steve, if you have the lead, you can afford to be a little comfortable with the three-point shot. You just don't want to fall too much in love with it.
Spurs leading by 14.
Had so much space there. The defense really not showing him the respect. You can see his eyes get wide.
The Suns have gone 4 of 8 in this fourth quarter, shooting an even 50% from the field. Into Green, knocked loose. It's stolen by Duncan. And Ginobili, here we go. Plays it up and banks it in. Ginobili's got 9 points here in the second half. And guys, what do you think about the hustle stance for the Spurs?
Boy, defensively, they've played with a high energy level, guys, and all the steals we've seen, really a result of that aggressiveness.
They haven't wasted time getting the ball up the court tonight either, and it's resulted in a lot of fast break points. 4 of their last 5 makes came off of a high-quality shot inside.
Yeah, that's textbook basketball. Just having their way down low.
Manu Ginobili in the final year of his 2-year contract extension with the Spurs, Steve, and some speculate that he may retire after this season.
Yeah, fantastic career for Ginobili. You know what I think, Kevin? I think Ginobili, Parker, Duncan, and Popovich should all just walk away right now. Just, go away together, and this has nothing to do with me coaching the Warriors. Nothing to do with me at all. This is about them. They've earned this. Walk away now, guys. Just leave.
I hear some admiration, but I also hear some sarcasm in there, too, from my partner there.
Thomas dishes to Plumlee. Outside Thomas. There's Dragic with the 3. Rebound San Antonio.
And Ginobili certainly will go down in history as one of the all-time great 6 men, alongside the likes of John Havlicek, Kevin McHale earlier in his career. I'm throwing out some old-school names for you young bucks.
Splitter kicks to Duncan. Duncan left side. Over Plumlee. On the money with the open jump. 34 points for Tim Duncan.
And Manu, a 2-time All-Star, won 3 NBA titles with the Spurs. An outstanding career for a player drafted 57 back in 1999.
Thomas passes to Plumlee. Here's Morris. And he's way off from outside.
Yeah, again, iffy shot selection there. Defender draped all over him.
Well, you got to understand who's guarding you in that situation. I mean, if he's on you tight, you can't just rise up and try to shoot over the top.
Here's Duncan, and it's good. Duncan's got 8 here in the quarter.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Spurs.
You're right, Steve. It was a standout performance across the board. They were just, at times, Clark, it seemed toying with it.
Yeah, like watching a cat play with a mouse, Kevin, quite honestly. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted to do.
And so checking out their record tonight, it'll mark win number 32 overall.
And once the horn sounds, they're going to be up 2-0 in the season series.
Yeah, but still 2 more games upcoming between them, Steve, so we could have a few more twists and turns down the road.
And you have to look back at this and see what a huge game it's been for Duncan. He was doing everything right, and the points seemed to come in bunches. He definitely had the hot hand. Boy, if they could have had this kind of run earlier in the game, it might have made a big difference.
You know, I think a big reason behind the run, Steve, is that they're not getting pressured as much by the defense now that the game's all but finished.
Splitter inside, working on Plumlee, and he gets the bucket.
Boy, they're extending their lead. It kind of feels like they're just piling on here as we come to an end.
Well, hey, let's just call it what it is. They are trying to run it up on them.
Plumlee sets the pick for Thomas. Takes a 3. Morris, no good. San Antonio's gone 1 of 2 from 3-point range here in the fourth. Duncan high post, working on Plumlee. Leonard, no luck. Now Plumlee at the elbow, Green. The layup off target. From deep, off the mark. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. They put on a show tonight, thoroughly controlling each end of the floor.
Hey, what more can you ask?
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Steve Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Tim Duncan.